bro, I really do. I got it. And he'd be like, nah, you're just a piece of shit. He would talk down, dude. And
Yeah.
Sal was the only
That
one.
was a dick.
Yeah, he would be the only one coming on Saturday. I'm gonna be working on this and that. Come here, I'll show you. So Sal actually got me the first one in. He's like, learn your parts, and then get yourself. So he actually took me under his wing.
Yeah. Did you both just want to get was working with the hands? I don't know. Was it just like that's the next move in the job? Like,
well, no, like here's the thing. Like
I just wanted to meet girls. There was no girls back there, dude.
That's fucking bullshit. There was no girls.
Yeah, there was no girls.
Go
Back
to a fucking
dude.
body shop to meet girls. That's the last fucking place you go.
So I just wanted to talk to girls, dude.
No, but the crazy shit is ever since I was in high school, like I knew I wanted to work in cars. I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do. I thought I was gonna be a mechanic or something, but I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to work on cars. That's what I wanted to do. So when I fucking graduated high school, I was like, well, fuck, what the fuck? What's the next step? You know, I didn't know anybody personally that was working on cars. So back then, when I was in high school, we had like ag mechanics, and I grew up in Carpinteria. So we had like this guy that came in and started talking about like UTI. UTI was to work on cars and bikes and to do all that shit. Yep. So I was like, well, fuck, that's a good place to start. So I ended up going over there. They teach you a little bit of everything.
Arizona, right?
This one was in Sacramento.
Okay.
So this one here, we go. You basically it's 2 weeks programs. Every 2 weeks you get a different class. So you start with the basics. You start doing like fucking tear downs. So you start doing metal work, and then the last 2 classes is like custom metal and custom paint.
Okay.
So when I started going there, I was like, well, shit, I want to be a body man, you know, work on fucking cars and fix them. Then when we get to the fucking estimating class, I was asking myself, like, where the fuck am I here? I'm not going to be a fucking estimator. I want to work on fucking cars. But then when I graduated and I started working on cars, it's kind of like if you do what you love every fucking single day, it kind of becomes a fucking job. You don't know. Yeah. You enjoy it, but you don't enjoy that shit the same.
Yeah.
To me personally.
No.
That's my homie Jay over here, he's completely the opposite. This guy can fucking wrench on shit 24/7 and not get over it. Me, I was already fucking tired, dude. I would get fucking
It's true.
I was fucking paying people to work on my own shit because I was so fucking tired of that. So when they told me, hey, you want to come inside the office and fucking be an estimator, you get more money, you don't have to fucking get dirty and actually be hands-on. I was like, fuck yeah, I was there after that.
From a career standpoint, from like dollar standpoint, it's the right move, right? It's the next move. And
you can make it depends. It depends. The thing is,
I mean, you want to get. I don't know. The goal usually is to like level up. I don't know. It seems like you're out of the field. You're making more money.
But the thing is, too, is you can make good money working. You know, the thing is, too, is like I was telling Eddie, you gotta find the right fucking shop to work for. Because there's a lot of people that, especially when they see youngsters, and that's the fucked up part about it, is especially when you haven't had too much experience and you haven't really worked for a lot of shops. They kind of take advantage of you in a way. So they fucking, if you never work for anybody else, then you don't know, what everybody else out there is getting paid because you got nobody to compare yourself to.
Yeah. No, we had a family a paint and body shop in our family for years, man. And after high school, it's part of what I did for a career. My dad did it his whole life, pretty much his career. Like that was how he made his money for a very long time. My uncle, same thing. And I worked there for a period of time and they showed me the ropes. Luckily, I had some family that was like showing me, okay, this is, I grew up in the driveway and in the garage, like tearing cars apart and all that stuff. But then when you get into a shop, it's a different ballgame.
Yeah, completely
It's a different environment. This is business. This is, you got to work effectively, efficiently, because it's a little bit of piecework. You get some money, you get paid a percentage of the labor rate. And if that shit tells you get 2 hours to do this shit and it takes you 5, you're fucking yourself really bad. So you got to learn,
Yeah, exactly.
So that was part of what my uncle and my dad taught me too. They're like, hey, look there's stuff that you're going to be able to like boom, boom. But the name of the game, not the name of the game, but you got to make this much money. So those are things that you got to learn inside of that shit.
Exactly. And that's the thing too, is you don't learn this shit until you actually start working. So a lot of people think, and this goes across the board, like even people that go to college and shit, when you're in high school and stuff, everybody fucking tells you like, if you want to make fucking money, you got to go to college.
I know.
Which is the fucked up part because that's not fucking true.
That's true, man. I'm starting to realize that I was listening to, I forgot whose podcast I was listening to, or maybe it was on the radio. There was something, but it started talking about exactly that, about college and stuff.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking too, because back then that was a message, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then I get older and you interpret stuff. I'm like, well, that was the message. They want us to go to college. They want us to spend this money. They want us to get into debt. They want to take out government loans. They want to do this and go to school. You need education to do this. And now that I'm older, now I'm going, okay, wait a minute. I didn't go to school. I didn't go to college. Okay. And I'm not like fucking living on a hill in Malibu or something, but I own a home. I got a couple of toys here. Yeah. I can provide for my family.
Exactly.
Like I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? So just different. It's different levels of it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what, now that I have kids, like I see shit a little bit different because I got a 1.5-year-old and my little girl's going to turn 5.
Congratulations to that.
Thank
man.
you.
Those are the two.
Yeah. Those are my 2 kids, and that's why I was kind of late too. That and because
I get that.
Yeah.
I understand.
So now
that.
It's like like I look at shit a little bit different. It's like I'm not gonna push my kids to go
How
to
old
school.
Are you, by the way?
I'm 32.
32. Oh, you're still a young buck, man.
So,
I got them.
So like I'm not gonna push going to my kids. If that's something that they like, then great. I'll back them up. But I want them to do whatever it is that they enjoy doing. Because the thing is, when you do shit because you love it, you're gonna learn quick. And when you learn quick and you're good at what you do, you're gonna make fucking money. So the money's gonna come regardless.
Yeah.
But the thing is too is like do something that you enjoy doing, so you don't have to bitch and complain, for the rest of your life and feel like you're fucking basically miserable working. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a good message.
Yeah.
The older I get, the more I realize that I got a daughter that's 16 years old, just turned 16. And then I'm in that like, okay, going to college, going to this. You have those conversations. She's just 2 years out from graduating high school and shit. And so I'm in that headspace of like, okay, but then like I said, I reflect on mine. I'll go, okay, I didn't go to college. I had to work.
Yeah.
I had to have a strong work ethic.
Fuck yeah.
And I have a 16-year-old, and I'm going to admit my 16-year-old is part of that generation that just doesn't have the same work ethic that I had and that you have, and probably that you have at this stage. They just don't have the same work ethic.
Yeah.
I had to get to work in order to get to where I'm at now.
Right.
So, but like you're saying, you don't have to go to college, and I didn't go to college, but I had to work.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to put my head down, and I had to go. You know?
Right.
And so, but you're right, man. You don't need college. Trade schools like UTI, MM. There's always going to be a need for trades: plumbing, welders, framers.
Exactly.
I don't know about now, dude. People are just selling pictures of their feet and making millions. I'm like, fuck, dude. They're making killing off of this shit.
What the fuck am I doing wrong?
Dude, I'm over here hustling. These ones just taking pictures of their fucking feet.
I never knock someone's hustle, but that just goes to show you, man, that you can make a buck off of anything. If that shit don't motivate you, man, you can make $1 off of anything. I never understood like how you can make money off of dirt.
Yeah.
And then I got involved with family that was involved in loads of dirt. And then I'm like, what? There's money right there in dirt?
Yeah.
So there's money
everywhere.
Yeah. You have to expose it. You have to just dig in and go for it.
That's what I'm saying. Is like if you fucking like something, you're gonna find a way to fucking make money off of that.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I remember when I first started working with him, dude, he's always been in the truck scene before it was cool. The single cab truck scene, dude. I just remember him having those before. And he wanted to hustle. He was always been a hustler. So he made like this wing for one of his cars. It looked ridiculous, dude. I don't know. I was like, what the fuck is this? He's like, it's cool. And then he mounted it on his truck. I was like, fuck, it looks pretty cool. He goes, I'm gonna start making these and selling them. You want to come in on Saturday and we'll start working on them and making them? I don't even know if it took off, huh? I think we only made like one, right?
No, I sold probably like, I want to say like 5-6 of those.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, he did like his little template and everything.
So the Intimidator SS came with the small, it's like a little 3-piece wing on the back. So that shit was only made, for a few years. GM made them, but they never made them for like now they call it the OBS, which is all body styles, like 88 through 97. Is it? No, 88 through
that square old body
through
style,
98,
yeah.
I think. Yeah, 88 through 98.
Yeah.
They never made them. So I thought it fucking looked cool. And yeah, this was before like the fucking truck scene blew up, because right now it's fucking ridiculous.
I'll tell you. Boy. I'll tell you. Hey, I can relate. Go ahead. I'll tell you a little bit about mine.
I was like, fuck, that shit looks fucking dope. But the thing is too, like the reason why I started like working on cars is because as a kid, I bought that truck when I was 17 years old. As a kid,
cheers, homie. Cheers,
I mean, you ain't got much money, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So you got two fucking options if you want to build a ride, which this goes across the board of bikes, you know, whatever, boat, whatever fuck it is that you're into. Either you got fucking money or you know how to do it.
That's it.
I didn't have fucking money, so I had to learn how to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Same boat.
That's how I started. So once
Same
I started fucking working on shit, I was like, fuck, you know, I like this shit. I like doing this. So I bought my first truck when I was 17. Fucking my summer, worked 2 jobs in the summer, fucking gather up like $2,000. And then back then you would look on the what was it? The fucking Trade Express. Remember Trade Express?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're taking
Trade
me back,
Express.
boy. There's a reason that this is called. Like, there's a reason that this thing is called Throttled Roots because you got to go back. Like, yeah.
So I went to the fucking picked up a Trade Express from like the local fucking liquor store outside.
I remember.
Started going through that shit. I was 17 years old and I saw this fucking truck for $4,000. I only had like fucking 2,000. I was like, fuck. I was like, and I told my dad, I was fucking nervous because I don't know what the fuck he was gonna tell me, you know.
Young.
I was 17. I didn't even have a fucking driver's license. So I showed my dad, and then he's like, all right, cool. He's like, I was surprised. He said, yeah. He's like, let's go check it out. I was like, but I only got $2,000. He's like, all right, I'll lend you the rest. I was like, fuck it, which I was surprised because my dad was never like that. My dad was already like, he was always strict and shit. So we go check it out. My dad drives it, and then he's like, all right, he's like, it's cool. And then I was like, fuck it. So I get it. So for a full fucking year, I was washing it and parking it because I didn't have a fucking driver's license. You know? So
you never stole it from like you never took it for a cruise?
No, I would, but around the fucking block, that was it. And then first thing I did was I fucking gutted the seat out and I started working and tinkering with this shit. And then that's when I realized like shit was expensive. But then I was like, fuck that. If I don't got the money to do it, I'm gonna learn how to fucking do it.
That's
how I started.
That right there is usually the common denominator that I find within people that start to like tinker, that start to wrench, that start to turn stuff and take stuff apart. There's one, just the like the knowledge part of it, like how does this thing work?
Yeah,
you got to have that mindset a little bit, and then the other part of it is just like, well, I don't have the money, but I want to do this, so let me figure out just kind of how to do it, and then it just becomes like a passion. It becomes it becomes a hobby,
right?
It becomes, honestly, for me, it becomes almost obsessive, where you're like, I need to learn more. I need to learn more. Like I don't have like. There's always new techniques. There's always new stuff to learn. And that's why I'm 15, 20 years into the stuff because I got into it and go, I need to dive deeper into this shit. I want to dive deeper into it. That's how the damn thing snowballed.
Yeah.
You know?
So then I started making those fucking wings. They didn't have it for my truck. So I bought one.
About the black ones that came right off of the back.
It was a small one that came out the back.
Right,
a lot of people are using them now because they fucking blew up.
I know exactly what you're talking
about.
You should have trademarked that shit.
I made the fucking end caps out of metal, and they would actually bolt on. So I shaped them out of fucking metal. And then I remember this one fucking time too. We went to a show, and it was crazy because I had just fucking finished painting that truck, and we took it to a show, and there was a lot of people that would kind of like fucking trip out on the fucking wing. And then like, where'd you get this? And I was like, oh, I made it. And they would fucking laugh at it. You know, like, no, you didn't. Like, where'd you get it? I was like, I fucking made it. It's metal. And then they would tap on it, be like, oh fuck, like, you know, it is metal. I was like, they don't make them for these trucks. And then I would get people like will hit me up and shit to buy them or to make them. And I was like, fuck, I can make money off of this shit, you know?
Yeah.
So then I started thinking, I was like, well, fuck, you know, like, why don't I just fucking do shit like this, make money, and then dump it back into my fucking project?
What are you signing up for? I remember it was like $200 a pop.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
In the day.
Now they're like,
was that good money?
Well, back then for a kid, yeah. For a kid, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we were taking those fucking $200 and then we'll go to the fucking, you know, blow it up on the weekend, drink up and party it up. So we were cool, you know? We're like, that's all we need. As long as we can fucking get in there, pay for drinks, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we were fucking doing. Yeah.
Well, that's where it kicks off, man.
Yeah.
And I know that when you start to like when you put something together, a project, a wing like that, just something that people admire and they go, damn, you made that? That fuels the fire.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Fucking more. Because you're like, let me go back to the lab and see what else I could create.
Yeah, and that's the thing with that's the cool shit. And I think that's the main reason why all of us that do like custom fucking cars, trucks, bikes, that's the main reason why we do it, you know, to take something that people didn't really give a shit about, and they make it cool, and then you're fucking pumping gas at the gas station, and the guy next to you fucking gives you a thumbs up or whatever.
Yep.
It just fucking makes it all worth it. You know, all those fucking headaches and shit that you had to go through or whatever, it makes it all fucking worth it. Absolutely. And then you fucking find yourself telling yourself, when you're, you know, going through all that drama and stress, like, fuck, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing this. I'm never doing this shit again.
Yeah.
And then you find yourself doing it again for the same reason.
Yep. Same thing.
You know?
Yep. All the time. It's like golf.
Yep.
You go out there and you suck, but you go back out there again because you're like, I'm beating myself up doing this, but I'm loving it. Like exactly. It's a weird drug.
Right.
It's a weird drug, man. But
right.
So the OSB, right? That's what you
the
call
OBS.
OBS.
So OBS is all body style.
So what? Which
88
one is
through
that?
98.
What year is yours?
Mine's at 88. So that's the first year of that body style.
Is it the red one?
It's the red one.
Okay.
And I actually even got that shit tattooed on me not too long ago.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I want to show people. Watch, check it out, because I had it actually right here. So look at, so they can actually see.
Yeah.
This one right here, right?
Yeah, it's that one.
Let me.
I remember that thing was primer.
Yeah.
Dude, back then it was on primer, and everybody was like,
dude, I got a good story.
Yeah, everybody would be like, "Hey, what kind of paint job is that?
Yeah.
What kind of paint is that?" He's like, "Primer."
So I didn't really have fucking money for a full paint job. This was before like the satin fucking finishes on cars and stuff like that, right? So I remember being at I used to work at another shop, and I go inside the tow truck, right? And then there's like a muffler shop across from where I used to work. And I'm inside the fucking tow truck, and I come out, and then there's this guy goes up to me, and he's like, "Hey, is that your truck?" I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, he's like, who painted it for you? I'm looking at the guy like, what the fuck you mean? He's like, who painted it for you? I thought he was joking at first, but then the guy was fucking serious. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, it's because I want to paint my car like that. And I was like, what car? And I looked, he's like, oh, that Charger. It was a brand new fucking Charger. Brand new car.
I can primer it for you.
I'll
go to AutoZone and grab.
I was like, that's fucking primer. And then he's like, oh, really? He's like, I thought it was paint. He's like, I want to paint my car like that, like a satin black. I was like, bro, I've been trying to fucking paint my truck. You have to look like yours. You're trying to primer your shit. But the thing is, too, when I primered it, I laid that primer like real nice. I didn't want no tiger stripes or anything like that because I knew it was gonna be primer for a while.
You blocked it too, right?
So yeah, so like I blocked it and I re-primered it, laid it down real smooth, no tiger stripes, so it looked like a paint job. And I kept it clean too, because with primer, you scratch or whatever, it's gonna stay.
Yeah.
So I kept it clean the whole time, so that's why people would trip out and they would think it was actual paint.
It's porous.
And then after that, like there was a lot of fucking, it just took off like all the satin shit. Even now, you got
trendsetter over here.
You got manufacturers that are fucking like Mercedes, BMW, Range Rover. Now they actually have shit cars from factory that are painted like that. That satin finish.
Flat, looking like primer coming out of it.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I go back to the body stuff when I had an S10 and I rolled around on it in primer for years, for like maybe like a year and a half, different areas of primer, because I do body work. I shave the tail lights. I did this. I put a roll pan in.
Yeah.
So I fucking wasn't painting it. So I was like little primer spots here. Then I'd primer the whole bed and shit like that. And I lived on that shit for a fucking minute. But I did exactly like you said. I laid a nice primer on there, made it look decent, took care of the damn thing.
Right.
Because I knew it was going to be on there for a while and shit,
Right.
But that's part of the get down, man. That's part of the build process. That's it. It's really nice to be able to do it all at once, but sometimes that's just not the way it works. And there's also a part of just enjoying the build, like doing it and watching, going through all your woes and all that.
And that's the other thing too, is like, that's the other reason why we kind of do this shit. Like I feel like real car guys, you do it for the journey, like most of my friends that I hang out with now, including Jay over here, I met because of cars. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And the thing is too, I have homies now. I have a homie now in LA that I sold him parts, through fucking Facebook Market.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, he was just fucking homies, never left.
Yeah.
And that's another one of my like close homies. So that's the other cool thing about it, is like you meet people that enjoy doing the same shit as you do. Like even before I came over here, I sold a set of wheels. And
that's why
you were late.
That's the other reason why I was late.
Yeah.
Well,
you gave this whole story. You went to
that's one. Well, the thing is, I pick up my kids. No.
3 different stories now.
No, look, I have to pick up my kids as soon as I get out of work. Okay, so I pick up the kids. Then from there, I have to wait for my wife to get there. So I had a fucking window because this guy hit me up like last minute. He's like, "Hey, I want to get those wheels off of you." I was like, "All right, cool." What time? I'm on the way. So I was like, all right, cool. But he's gonna be there by the time I fucking show up. He's gonna pick him up. You know, that's what I thought. That's what anybody fucking
He
normal
was
would
coming
do.
from LA.
Especially he was here local. But the thing is too is he gets there, he buys the wheels, and he sees my truck, and then he's like, oh, where's the truck? He's a car guy, you know. So we fucking start chatting it up, and next thing you know, I look at my fuck, dude, like I gotta go. Luckily, my wife gets there. She gets the kids, but that's the other thing, you know. Like the guy, it doesn't matter, you know, what fucking age, you know, that person is. You can always fucking relate if they enjoy doing the same thing that you do.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if I'm fucking 30 and that guy's like 70 or whatever. You know, he's got shit to share that I'm gonna be interested in. So I'm gonna be fucking wanting to talk to him because it's cool to fucking see how I was back then.
Yep.
Or even if you're the same age like him, you know, he started looking at my trucks and shit, and he's like, oh, well, I got this, I got that. Next thing you know, we're fucking chopping it up for like a fucking hour or with somebody I don't even know.
So relate to the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the other cool thing about it. You meet a whole bunch of cool people that, you know, they're just kind of like you. That's the cool shit.
I think that's the car scene. I'm more in the Harley thing, but I have the C10. I got a Mercury Comet, but I love going out to a car show or anything like that. I like to go and do it, but I've always, to myself, my personal observation, the car scene seems a little bit more friendly sometimes. It's just definitely, there's more open. The motorcycles, you were talking about motorcycle earlier. Sometimes the motorcycle stuff is very like, oh, tough guy, because you're on a Harley and you're supposed to be that. The motorcycle or the car stuff, like you said, 30 years old to 70 years old, you can click and vibe with anybody that's out there, you know?
Yeah. But the thing is too, is like the truck scene, it's different, man, too, because like this newer generation of truck scene it's a lot different than the old school shit. A lot of these kids now, they're more into like the fucking, you know, it's more of a trend for them in a way. You know, that's what I see.
In the middle of the street.
Yeah, just shit like that. You go to like those shows where it's more like newer shit, and it's more like them fucking around, you know, trashing on the fucking, which is cool, you know. But it's a whole different vibe. Like that's something that you don't really take your family to because of all the shit that goes on.
Yep.
Where if you go to like Dino's Get Down in Arizona, if you go to C10 Intervention, you know, nothing but C10s is like, you have people there that got, you know, fucking $250,000 builds, you know, truck and magazine builds, shit like that. And you go up to them and they're like, they're cool as fuck. Yep. You know what I mean? They'll fucking talk to you. They don't give a shit, you know. They're exactly like you. Like it's cool vibe. You go to these other kind of, you know, like these newer truck shows, and I feel like a lot of people do it more for the hype, and they try to flex like, oh, you know, I gotta, this costs more, and it's not about that. That's why we're kind of walking away from that in a way. I don't know, it's because I'm getting older or what?
No, well, there is that. There of course is that. There is that. But honestly, man, we touched on a little bit earlier. It's generational.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing you, and what you're saying in the Harley world to me is very similar. It's about flex, it's about trend, it's about being part of the thing. It's not necessarily about the culture, the lifestyle, all the late hours in the shop or do. Now, some people it is still for that. For me, it's deep that's what it is for me, like it is for you, right? But you're right, and I think it's more of a generation thing, man. I'm all about wilding out because trust me, I grew up in a old school era time where I can go to Laughlin and see girls flashing their titties and shit. Like up on my dad took me to some rough, tough shit.
Yeah.
And I grew up in that stuff. So I know what that shit was around, or I know what that's like. So I understand the burnouts and the wheelies and the fucking doing donuts and all that shit. I totally get that because that's part of the fun. But the scene itself, it's more of flash. It's more of trend. It's more of, you know, I'm sure like in your LS engines and this and that, and it just turns into a whole snowball thing.
Yeah.
It feels like that with the Harley thing sometimes. And that's why like it's important for me to spread the same message that you're spreading. Like, hey, there's other roots to it. There's other stuff related to this. Go talk to the old timer because they're going to tell you about, they were doing some cool ass shit without all the stuff that we got now back then, you know?
Yeah. And that's basically, you know, that's what I did too. When I was in high school, I was like, fuck, well, you know, I really like this shit. So I kind of started taking it back to, okay, so how the fuck did all this shit start? You know what I mean? So I actually started doing research on it. And that's how I came across people like Bill Hines, Jen Winfield, which I just met, you know, last weekend. Then you had Ed Roth. You had all these people that kind of paved the way for the custom culture, with cars and stuff like that. So I kind of started looking into that, and that kind of just opens your eyes to a lot of other, it just kind of lets you know where everything comes from, and it lets you appreciate stuff a bit more. So it actually means a lot more to you than the people that didn't do the research and they don't really care about it, and they're just about, okay, what's going on right now, what's trending, what's on fucking Facebook. That it means a lot more to you than I feel like, than those people that are barely coming in.
You got a way tighter connection to it. You got a way more, like, that's why we call this podcast Throttled Roots, because it's rooted in you. It's like your core. It's where you started and stuff.
Exactly.
You got a deeper connection to it. And I want those people to have that, because I know when I came into like the Harley shit, when I was new and I came into it, I was like, oh, look at me on the chrome and this, that. And I was probably that guy, like, look at my leather gloves without the tip. I don't know, whatever the fuck it was, So I was that guy. Yeah. It feels like there's a I probably fucking was rocking the chaps or something, half little condom dome looking helmet and shit, dude. Yeah. But you do that. There's always going to be that when you're new to a scene, or you're new to a lifestyle or a culture or whatever, you're going to be green. You got to learn a little bit about it. But that's usually what separates people in the scene, so to speak. There becomes a point when you're like, okay, it's more than just appearance and what's on the outside. Then you got to start digging deeper and start doing kind of like what you did. You got to start like, okay, well, where did this come from? Where did it start? And then when you get into that, you appreciate it way more. But there's just I would say somewhere between the 2 and 3 year mark is where people are either going to be like, they start diving into it and start really like, oh, I'm really into this. This is my shit. Or if you don't do it by then, you're a weekend type of dude. You're a trendy dude. And to be honest with you, guys like yourself and myself we kind of can pinpoint you out. We can spot you out. We recognize it and stuff. And there's nothing bad. Do your thing, whatever it does for you. But there's so much more. Than people think that there is.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, it's and the thing is too. Like, I understand all that you're saying too, because even with like these newer generations, like, I try to help them out, because one of the reasons why I started to get into this is because I didn't have anybody to guide me. I didn't have nobody to fucking help me out. And a lot of times too, where when I was starting, is I had questions, and I would ask people, questions, because I'm trying to find this shit out, and they would just blow me off.
Oh, dude, the people that were teaching us, dude. I mean, they're fucking assholes, dude.
See, I always hated that.
Yeah,
man. I always was like, man,
and then they blame us for everything.
Yeah, and I got that too. I got the old timers that were like, whatever, fuck off. I got some of those, but I got some that would teach me. But now I'm the same way. I'm like, if you want to learn, come over, and I will be glad to show you the ropes.
But then, like, I try to do the opposite. So I try to help people out, kind of, guide them in the right direction. And so that they don't have to go through that shit, because there was a lot of people back then that I don't know if sometimes, like, I had an idea or whatever, or I like something on their truck or build, you would ask them like, oh, well, like, where'd you get this from, or how did you do it? A lot of those people wouldn't want to share any information. I don't know if it was because they didn't want you to kind of have what they had, but I try to do completely the opposite now, and try to help those newer generations that are coming in.
That's what you got to do,
and kind of explain to them also too, is like, okay, kind of like give them a little more information than what they're asking for, so that they kind of feel like, well, shit, if I ever need anything, I can always go to this guy. He's gonna fucking help me out. And the reason why I do is because back then I wish somebody had done that for me, because I bumped into a whole bunch of people that were just fucking dicks.
And that's like, I'm glad that you didn't stop. I'm sure you are, because like, you run into that type of stuff, and you run into it like 2 or 3 times. You're like, well, I don't want to fuck with this. Nobody wants to show me anything. And then you lose interest in it, and rightfully so. If like, well, if everyone's going to be a dick about it, or doesn't want to really teach me or show me anything, then what I want to mess with this for, So I'm an advocate for it. My friends will ask me, can I do this? Can I come and like watch you do a handlebar job, or help just see? And I'm like, absolutely, man. Like, you just, if you're interested in learning, I'm definitely interested in teaching you, because I don't want it to it's not going to die, but I want to guess on my end, I want to do my part to contribute to the big picture, the culture, for it to live on and keep on moving and shit, man. And that's my stupid way of going, like, I'm giving back to the thing that fucking drives me. Like it's a huge passion for me, dude. Like
exactly.
So that's just my stupid way of giving back and shit. You know?
For sure.
What builds do you got right now, man? What do you got in the stable? What besides the other one that we saw? Let me see if it was on here. I lost it. It's all right. But besides the red one, what else you got going on right now?
So the red one, that was my first truck. That's a 88. I'm not gonna do much to it. Eventually, what I'll do is I do want to LS swap it once that motor takes a shit.
Oh, you got this big boy right here.
Yeah, so that's my new one right there.
Yeah, let me pull this one up. Let me show them.
Yeah, so that's a 22 Duramax. That one we just started working on it. I just got the lift on it, got the wheels. Basically wanted to have something cool that I can drive around right now because I did sell my other truck. I sold my 2013. So that one was
bad, dude.
Fucking motor was built, wheels, rear end, big brake kit, full interior. That one was all done. That one I bought back in 2013. Did everything myself.
I still remember the day you bought it. Brand new, dude.
Yeah. So when I bought that shit,
ruined it the next weekend.
On that one. I told myself
you want the warranty? Fuck no.
Dude, ruined it. On that one right there, I told myself I wasn't gonna do anything crazy to it. It was a brand new fucking truck. I said I was gonna fucking lower it, throw some 20s on it, let it be. Fucking 2 months into it, I was fucking cutting the chassis and the fucking bed on that truck at the dealership. So you had people that were coming in and out, and they saw the fucking truck and the chassis all cut up and what I was doing to it. They're like, "You're fucking stupid. You're fucking crazy. You doing that shit to a brand new truck?" But they didn't know
it wasn't cool back then, dude.
They didn't know what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
So then I narrowed the fucking rear end. We got some 26 by 12s, 8-inch lip, which was not. It wasn't too like you wouldn't see that shit around here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once I finished it, put it all back together, they're like, "What the fuck? That's a fucking badass truck."
Yeah.
A lot of people were tripping out on it.
Everyone always questions when you're doing that shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You have a brand new bike or a brand new truck or a brand new car, and you got that thing torn apart.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's cool the way it is, but I'm about to make this motherfucker way cooler
exactly
right now.
So that one was in 2013. I did all that. I recently just sold it, but I just felt like I had already gotten everything that I wanted out of it. You know. The truck, I mean, it's sold with like 30,000 miles. I would hardly drive it because I got 2 kids. It was only a 2-seater. Mm-hmm. So I would only take it to shows. I wouldn't even let my friends drive it, you know. They would take it to shows themselves because I couldn't go sometimes. So I'll be like, fuck it, take my truck. So they would pick it up and they would take it.
Didn't I drive one of your trucks to a show?
I think so.
I think I drove.
That's not a bad move because you get it out there in the truck.
Yeah. Right.
People. There's always a buyer for shit.
Oh, for sure. So I mean, I had that shit. I enjoyed it. I fucking built it. My homies, enjoyed it, and I met a lot of them because of that truck too. I made a lot of friends because of that truck. So I was like, all right, cool. Well, I mean, I would much rather have somebody else own it and kind of take it to the next level and have somebody else enjoy it.
Yep.
Than just have the truck just sit here. I was probably driving like once a month.
Oh.
So I was like, I told my wife a few times, like, hey, what if I sell this thing? I know, just fucking, you don't need the money, just leave it. I was like, all right, cool. So that was the first time. And then the second time I was like, every time I would fucking walk into the garage and that truck was there, and it was like, it's not doing anything. You know what I mean?
You're doing it an injustice.
Yeah, right. So then I told my wife again, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking sell this thing. I'm just fucking tired of seeing it there. And even my homie Jay will be like, why are you gonna sell it? That's a badass fucking truck. I was like, dude, I'm not driving it. I'm not doing anything with it. I already did what I had to do with it, and I enjoy the shit out of it. And it's time for somebody else to fucking kind of do their own thing with it.
Yep.
So posted up for sale and fucking sold within like 3 days.
Dude, the only thing that I feel bad for is I know it's out of state, so you don't have to see what.
Well, that's the best thing about it.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm trying to say is like it's in the middle of fucking intersection doing burnouts, and dude, this guy takes care of. You know him. Dude, this guy washes every truck probably every weekend, and he puts those stupid paper mats like it's a car.
He gives me shit,
dude. I know this guy, so I know whatever is wrong with that, whoever he sold that truck to is not doing what he used to do to that truck, dude.
No, well, trip out on this. So the guy that bought it, that truck went to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that bought it's an older cat. So I thought he was like on his fucking 30s, early 40s. And I tell the guy, hey, well, send me a picture of your driver's license because I got to get your information for the DMV to release it. He sends me a picture. He's like this older guy. He had to be like 60s.
No shit.
He sends me pictures of his, because I wouldn't picture that guy to be driving that truck, you know.
His handicap sign and everything.
He sends me pictures of his other builds. He's got another truck almost like mine, like the one I sold him.
So you're good.
Makes 1,000 fucking horsepower, and the guy fucking he's at 1,200.
He's a car guy.
He's a car guy. So I was like, all right, I'm glad he fucking bought that truck because it went to the right guy.
Yep.
Yeah. So it went to the right guy. So it didn't really like, you know, hurt me because I was like, I'm glad, you know, it went to that.
But that's you're like the way that you handled it, I guess, not the way that you went about it and thought about it. Like, okay, I've had my fun. My homies had their fun. It's just sitting here. It's not doing like that is the best way to approach it and go, I've had my time with it. It's time to move on and go to something else. It's nice to have something like my dad's Harley. I'll never sell. I'll always keep there's certain ones. And maybe that's your truck. That's your red truck, right? There's your one that you just, that ain't going anywhere. I got too many memories. I got too much time. I just got too much connection with that. But there's a bunch of other projects and stuff that you own stuff, have fun with stuff, play with stuff. Don't just get stuck on one kind of thing. And when you get to the point of what you just described of, I've had my fun with it, I did what I needed to do, it's time to move on. That's the time to let the thing go. And squeeze every dollar out you can out of it. Because you're right. The truck scene is fucking hot right now.
Because that's the other thing too. Is like,
dude. It's stupid expensive.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I always had like 3 to 4 trucks at once, all the time.
You're like me with the Harleys.
Yeah. I remember when I was I had turned 21. I had that one, the 2013, and then I had my fucking the red OBS. I bought a fucking 454 because I always wanted a 454.
Oh, that's right.
Remember that shit?
Why'd you get rid of that?
My parents didn't even fucking know about that shit. I kept it at the fucking
at the shop. I remember
I kept that shit at the fucking shop.
Damn.
They didn't even fucking know about that truck. And then finally I ended up selling that one.
Stupid.
When did you sell that?
Fuck. I had that shit for what, like a year and a half, 2 years maybe?
2 years.
Yeah.
So, and you never touched that one. You
that thing would probably be worth how much?
I don't even fucking bring that shit up anymore, dude. How much I bought that shit. Well, back then it wasn't how it is right now. That's the other thing that sucks for these fucking younger generations is back then we could go out and buy a fucking truck like that for like $4,000 all day long.
Yep.
And that was a lot back then.
People want fucking ridiculous amount of money because they kind of fucking blew everything up.
It's insane. It's so crazy. I don't know what it is because it's the same thing with you in the C10s and all that in that world.
Harley's
with me, it's Harley's is the same. You see that bike that's on the lift there? That is a 20+ year old bike. Okay. And for whatever reason, those things are going. I used to be able to buy those things for $4,000, something like that. Now, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 for them. And I don't understand. It just, the generation, I don't know, the old shit is cool again. What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Well, I'll take it because I own it, so I'll sell it to you.
Fuck yeah.
So buy low, sell high, as they say.
Yeah, so it's cool when you're selling, but when you're trying to buy, it's like, fuck. Like,
that's why a lot of people weren't selling their stuff because they're like, what am I going to buy?
Yeah.
What am I
that's what happened to me. See, when I bought that when I sold that 2013, I wanted a 70 Chevelle. That's what I wanted. I wanted a fucking 70 Chevelle. So I started looking for, I was like, well, fuck, I got $40,000 now because that's how much I sold it for $40,000. So like, I got fucking $40,000 in my pocket. I'm gonna buy me a fucking 70 Chevelle. So then I start fucking looking online, and I'm like, fuck, I can't buy shit for fucking $40,000.
You're gonna buy a piece of shit.
Yeah. So there was like a 71, 72, but it's not the same because the 71, 72 they have the single beam headlight. The 70 had the dual. I wanted the fucking dual. Yeah.
Yep. That's a
Chevelle.
You know that's a Chevelle coming at you with the dual headlight.
So then I'm like fucking looking at this shit, and it's like, fuck, I can't buy shit for $40,000 here in Cali because there was shit coming up in like New York and stuff like that. But I was like, fuck that. I'm not trying to do that,
dude.
A lot of them, rust and stuff like that. Older car, you don't know what you're getting. So I was like, I want something here local that I can go check out and fucking buy. Well, nothing came up, but fucking for $40,000, you're buying a project. I was like,
wow.
Fuck. I was like, I already have fucking projects. So I was like, I'm not fucking doing that. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking fix my trucks that I got right now, and then later on, I'll just buy something that's already done that I mean, I can throw my wheels and kind of make it my own, but I don't have to go deep pose into it.
Right.
So I ended up I have a 75, which is my current project, 75 square body C10. And so I, with some of that money, I put it towards my Duramax because I was like, well, shit, what's the next one? I was like, if I dump this shit into my C10, it's gonna take a fucking while. Even if I got the money for me to fix it and do all that shit, do all the labor, paint, all that stuff. It's gonna take a while. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna fix my fucking Duramax. Prior to that, I had told my wife too, like, dude, what should I do? Should we buy another fucking house or what do you want to do? Luckily, I'm lucky that she doesn't give me shit for cars and the stuff that I love. She's like, look, houses are fucking crazy right now in California. The interest is high as fuck.
Stupid.
Do your thing. Like, put her into your fucking cars. Buy the car that you want. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to fix up my Duramax so I can have a badass tow pig to fucking tow the rest of my shit.
There you go.
And then I'm going to keep working on my C10. So that's what I'm working on right now is my 75 C10.
Dope, man. 75. Good year also.
And what's your truck club?
Royals.
Yeah. Out of Oxnard?
So we're in Oxnard. I have a few guys in Carpinteria. One of my homies is in Santa Barbara.
How many trucks you guys?
It's not that many of us. I want to say it's probably like 12 of us.
That's a good.
But we like to keep it that way, because a lot of people say they're family or this and that, but no, like, we're family. You know what I mean? Like we go to each other's like family parties and stuff like that. Everybody knows everybody. And we don't want it to get any bigger than what it is right now, because I feel like when you get so many people in there, you kind of fucking lose it,
Yeah, it's like, you're absolutely right. It gets too big. You wouldn't lose the family atmosphere, but I feel you. You're absolutely right. The tighter you can keep the circle, and I like to keep my circle smaller the older I get. That's just weird how that.
And I got a truck.
I got a truck. Can I come hang out? I got a truck.
Toyota you had?
Dude, I've always had Toyotas, dude.
Toyota. We need to get this guy on some American.
Nah, dude.
Man. Yeah,
man, they always break.
Well, that's why we go and fix them. We just fuck with them. Yeah.
But
dude, I have so many stories with Toyota pickups, dude.
We'll talk about Toyotas over here.
I love them. They're just they're old faithful.
They are. I had a Toyota.
Yeah.
A Camry. It wasn't even a truck. I had a Tacoma actually too.
I'd have to go pick this fool up because he couldn't afford gas.
Times change.
Yeah, you see,
that little red one.
Yeah,
and you and Joe.
Yeah,
you guys went to that customer's house and you guys pulled up on this fucking.
It was this gated community. And we pulled up in a little Toyota pickup, and they thought we were the lawnmowers.
Yeah,
they thought we were the gardeners.
They were
making fun of us.
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck you!"
Oh, when this guy fucking told me that shit, I couldn't fucking.
That was awesome.
So, what do you think? I'm curious because I know that they're up there, but you're definitely into the truck scene way more. So, I got a 65 C10 long bed. Okay, long bed. It's got a 350 in it, power glide, just primered black on some transit wheels, lowered a little bit. What does something like that go for nowadays?
I mean, back then, to be honest with you, you could get a long bed 60 through 66, fucking $2,000 all day long.
Cheap. Yeah.
Right now, you're probably depends on the condition, but roughly I want to say maybe like anywhere from $8,000 to $9,000 as a project.
Well, see, the thing is with long beds,
it's straight, it runs, it's primered, it's body work.
Don't try to sell your truck right now, Dick.
I'm just raising the price for myself. I know that.
Yeah, and obviously that's for a project. If you're like full paint job, full interior, all that shit just goes up from there.
Crazy.
But back then, though, I mean, long beds. If you had a long bed, it was like fuck, like you wouldn't really. It was hard to sell. But nowadays, everybody's doing the fucking short bed conversions. So people don't even give a shit no more if it's a long bed or a short bed. Which one? Oh, that's right. His godfather he's like, hey, come check this truck out. I have my godfather. He's gonna move out of town. He's gonna sell his truck. What year was that? 64. Like a 64.
Okay.
It was the same body style.
Same body style.
So I go check it out. Okay. So it had rust here. I mean, it was a clean driver. 20 feet away, 20 miles an hour. It looked pretty damn good.
It's a 50-footer.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, dude, he tells me, how much do you think this thing's worth? I was like, honestly, with all the work it's gonna need, probably like $9,000. And then he comes back to me. He's like, hey, how much do you think they sold that truck for? How much did it sell for? $15K.
Oh,
$15,000.
They came to pick it up from Utah.
They came to pick it up for $15,000. And the truck, it was definitely not a show truck. Definitely not. It was the kind of truck that
holy crap.
It was already showing rust, bubbling on the rockers, on the doors. The bed definitely wasn't straight.
Visible.
Well, I think with trucks like that, a lot of people are getting trucks like that, and they're making badass shit like lifted long beds with the patina look, and
that's the thing.
Just badass lifts, and it just looks tough.
Yeah, because the thing is, trucks like that, you want to leave them like that. You get a project, you don't want to strip them down because you're just gonna fucking open up a can of worms.
Yeah,
they're cool as is. Let it be. Drive the shit out of it, and like fucking Eddie said, lift it, put some wheels, and let it fucking be. Like,
it's an old truck. It's let it be a truck.
Exactly. But then you got the other type of buyer where he's gonna fucking take it because he can buy a long bed for less money and make it into a fucking short bed and basically do a full-blown fucking build. So it's better for them to fucking buy a long bed for cheaper money because it's a truck. It's an old truck. Obviously, the bed's gonna be mostly fucked up, so they're already gonna put a new bed. What they're gonna do is they're gonna back half the whole fucking truck and link it or bag it or whatever. They're gonna cut the fucking frame behind the cab and everything's gonna be brand new. So it doesn't matter if it's a fucking long bed or a short bed.
Yeah.
So that's why the long beds too went up in value quite a bit.
See, I kept saying that. I go, everybody's taking these long beds and cutting them to short beds, and eventually there's not going to be a whole lot of long beds out here.
Yeah.
And then it's going to turn in. And I've been saying that for years. But I've always liked long beds. Even like my personal truck is a long bed. I haul shit in it.
Yeah.
But like on that 65 C10, low and long, I don't know. I like that look, but they've been chopping them up for years. They've been cutting them beds for years. And eventually you're going to run out of them.
Yeah.
And you're going to make them extinct. And then I'm just going, keep doing that, baby. The price is going up. Yeah. Keep going. Yeah. Every bed that gets cut, the dollar price of mine goes up. You know?
Well, when I bought my
in the bank,
and the other thing too is like with fucking California, the smog laws. Anything fucking pre-smog, I don't know, the fucking $3 to $4 grand to that shit, because
you don't have to fuck with that.
Because you don't gotta fuck with
I didn't even think of that. I got that shit in my pocket right there too. Damn. Give me a piece of paper, man. We're gonna write all this shit down right here. I need to maximize my profit.
When I was telling Jay right now as we're driving, on the way over here through the fucking back roads, we passed like the spot where I bought my 73 C10. I had a 73 square body. That's the only fucking truck to this point that I can say I regret selling because honestly didn't have the fucking space for it. And then one day we fucking put it up on the lift. I bought that shit for dirt cheap, $1,000. Now it's fucking unheard of. You can't even buy the fucking cab for $1,000. You know what I mean? But I bought it for a 73 pre-smog. Bought it for $1,000. So it sat on one of the fields out here for over a year. So it wouldn't stay on. The carb, was fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Had to rebuild it. And then I got it running, put new wheels and everything. Started driving it. As one day we fucking go into the shop. We put it up on the lift. And I see like these fucking, it looked like mud, right? Like on the fucking cross member. I started fucking poking at that shit. I'm like, fuck, dude, those are welds. Somebody had booger weld the front cross member together.
They look like my welds.
Yeah. Fucking Eddie had welded that shit.
Fuck you, dude. So my welds got a lot better,
at
dog.
At that point, I was like, fuck, I'm into this truck for like $3,000. Like I had to make a fucking decision. That shit needed a frame, no way about it. So I was like, either I'm fucking gonna dump a lot more money into it, and fix it right. Or I can fucking get rid of it right now and I won't lose my ass.
Yep.
Fucking posted it up for sale. Dude, that fucking same day, it sold. That same fucking day, I sold it for $4,000. Well, I mean, $4,000 was still a fucking deal.
Walk away, man.
So I sold that shit. And after I fucking sold it, I was like, fuck, dude. Like, I really wanted that fucking truck, but I wasn't going to, put more money into it.
I feel you.
So then fucking time went by. I had another 3 trucks and I just still kept on thinking about that truck. But I told myself, you know what? I'm not going to fucking buy another truck until I buy a house and I have somewhere to fucking work on it.
There you go.
Because you start getting older and you got to make, smart decisions. Like all these fucking cars, they're fun and all, but it takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. And as you get older, your priorities change.
Yep.
So finally I bought my house. When I saw my house, it had like this big old side yard. I was like, first thing I thought, I was like, dude, I could work on my fucking truck right here. So I started working on it, fucking laid down some concrete. My homie did the fence for me so I could fit a car in there. and then bought me a fucking trailer because I also told me that I'm not gonna buy another fucking truck until I have a house. I have my own fucking trailer. I have my own fucking truck to go pick it up. Then I can tell myself I can actually fucking afford to build another fucking car.
Yep.
So finally, full circle came around, and me and him, I told him, hey, I'm gonna start looking for a truck right now. You know, I'm ready for it. I found this fucking truck out in the Bay Area. I told my homie, hey, get ready. We're gonna go pick up this truck on tomorrow. It's like, what do you mean? He's like, send me pictures. And he's like, dude, that shit needs a lot of work. He was trying to talk me out of it the whole fucking time.
This you?
I wanted that shit so fucking bad. I was like, no, we're going tomorrow. Like, fucking be ready. We're gonna pick this shit up. He said it's complete. So he's like, no, Sal, I got a bad fucking feeling about this shit. I was like, no, just fucking help me out here. Fucking get ready. Let's go.
Ride or die,
so,
motherfucker.
Yeah. So I was like, all right. So fucking get up early as fuck in the morning. We go out to the bay. Fucking guy said the truck was disassembled, but I was like, I don't give a shit. Half of the work is already done. I'm gonna take it apart regardless.
Yep.
You know, everything's gonna be new. I was planning on doing an LS swap and all that. So I was like, you already did half the work for me. As long as everything is there, I'm cool with it. So we get there, we start looking at it. There was a lot of shit that just wouldn't add up. And then my homie just like, hey, come check this out. I think this truck's been crashed. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, look at the frame rails. Well, that's what we do, you know. We fucking.
That's what you do too.
Yeah. So he's a tech, so he does a lot of the Tesla's work. So now
shit.
so he does a lot of Teslas, and that's what we do every fucking day. You know, we work on cars. And I started looking. I was like, fuck, dude, you're right. So I tell the guy,
Wrinkled frame or something.
Yeah, the fucking frame rail was in.
Oh,
it was basically swayed over.
Damn, you're lucky you took them.
So. Well, yeah, because the thing is, when you want something so fucking bad, you're not thinking. Yeah,
you're
you know what I'm saying?
Blind. Yep.
So he's like,
I bought some shit that I shouldn't have bought. I've done it.
Right. So then I tell the guy wanted like $6 fucking grand. Then he brought it down to 1,000, started pointing to 5,000. We started pointing all this shit out. I tell the guy, I was like, you know what? I'm already fucking here. I got a fucking trader. I'll give you $3 grand. And I don't even want the fucking thing, you know. I'm just giving you $3 grand because I got a fucking trailer and I'm already invested, you know, invested my fucking time and everybody else's time to fucking be here. And then the guy's like, no, he's like, I can't do it for $3 grand. Then we're like, well, fuck it. It is what it is, you know. We turn around, we start looking on fucking marketplace. Hopefully, we find something over there so we don't come back empty-handed. We didn't find shit, so we're like, fuck. We come back home. And then I started kind of processing it. I'm like, fuck, dude, thank God I didn't fucking buy that thing.
Yeah, sometimes count yourself. Sometimes
you're a good friend. I would have told him buy it.
Because you win to buy it don't mean that you have to fucking buy it. You know, you went there, your intentions are to buy it. And you're right. That was a smart move. Good thing you had a homie with you to go and pull you out of that shit.
So then I fucking start, you know, I posted up, you know, I'm looking for a square body C10. Does anybody have one? You know, a few people hit me up. Some of them were like fucking overpriced. And then I was looking for, I wanted a project, you know what I mean? I wanted something to keep me busy. And then, so then this guy hits me up.
Thank you, Mo.
He's like, hey, I got a 70, what is it? 78? He said, it's a 77. It's a 77. He's like, I got a 77. I was like, you know what? I'm not really looking for a 77. I don't want to deal with that whole fucking, you know, smog shit. I want something pre-smog. And then I was like, but you know what? What have you guys done to it? Or what does the truck look like? He's like, well, we fucking rebuilt the motor on it. They did some motor work. I was like, what kind of motor is it? He's like, it's a 454. I was like, okay. So he got my attention. Like, what else? What else does it have? It's like, it's a fresh 454. It's got aluminum heads. It's got a 4-barrel. And he's like, we rebuilt the tranny. We kind of did all this work. And I gave it to my brother and it's sitting there. He wanted like $5 grand. I was like, for $5 grand, I can get a fucking pre-smog truck. I told him.
Yeah.
That wasn't true, but I told him that. And then he's like, I was like, you know what? I'll give you $3 grand for it. It's like, all right, let me ask my brother. So he asked the brother. The brother said, yeah, fuck it, come get it. So I tell my homie, I was like, hey, we're gonna go pick up a truck. Like, get ready. So then I hit up my other homie too. So it was us three. And then this fucking thing was just like buried behind. I don't know. They did like concrete work and shit. So they had like fucking machinery and shit in front of it. That thing looked fucking rough. But then he pops the hood. Sure enough, he had a fucking 454 aluminum heads. So I'm already doing the fucking math as I'm looking at this shit. I was like, okay, well, here's my fucking $3 grand on the motor alone.
Right there. Yep.
I was like, I'm not gonna lose my ass. So then I was like, all right, cool. So then I pay the guy, we fucking roll it out, and then he had like mismatched wheels. He had like two 454 SS wheels, and then he had like a set of the SS Kragers.
Oh.
And then on a 17, which are kind of fucking rare. So then the guy is like, which set of wheels do you want? I didn't like any of them but I was like, okay, which one am I gonna be able to sell faster? You know? So I was like, actually the 454s, because anything 454 SS is hot. So I was like, give me the 454s. And the guy got lazy. He's fuck it, just take them both. So he gave me both sets. We're fucking throwing shit on the back of the fucking thing. The first thing I do when I get home, I fucking wash the truck. Now. I clean both fucking sets of wheels and I put them up for sale. Sold them for like $1,200, both of them. So then I bought the fucking truck for $3,000 minus $1,200. You know, so
score.
Right. So then fucking I'm like, fuck, dude. Then I'm kind of stuck again because they're like, I didn't want a fucking pre-smoked truck. So then I start fucking looking online for anything out of state. So I find this truck in Arizona, square body, 75. They wanted $1,500. It didn't run. It had a brand new transmission, and I guess when they did the transmission, the motor took a shit.
Oh, of course.
It had a brand new fucking seat, and then I was like, I call them, and it was a lady. That lady answered. It's like she kind of tells me, "Oh yeah, it's got a brand new tranny, this and that. It doesn't run though. You got to tow it." I was like, "Would you take $1,000?" I just wanted the fucking cab and the title to have it be pre-smart.
Yeah, I got you.
So the lady's like, "Yeah, well, I have one of my homies from the club. He's in Arizona." And I hit him up. I was like, "Hey, can you pick this truck up for me?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll go pick it up." So he picks it up for me, and he had it over there. I knew there was a show coming up, Dino's Get Down. Then I tell my homie Jay,
get to it.
I was about to show.
Did you go to this last year?
No, that's the first. That's like one of the years that we go every single year. Last year is the only year that I didn't go because we went on vacation to Mexico. So I was like, it's gonna have to be one or the other.
Oh.
So I didn't go, but I told my homie Jay, I was like, hey, he was looking for a seat because he has two C10s. He's into dualies.
I love dualies.
Yeah. So he was looking for a seat. And then I was like, hey, you know what? I forgot I had bought that fucking thing. And I was like, you know what?
You bought a truck.
Dude, that just got there in fucking Arizona.
Oh my God. Dude.
So this guy's like,
I tell this guy,
I tell this guy
I had a truck.
I was like, dude, I bought this fucking truck in Arizona. You're looking for a seat? I was like, you're looking for a fucking seat? That thing is fucking fresh. It's got a fresh fucking seat. I told him, I just need the cab, the fucking title on the paperwork so I can make mine a 75. I was like, give me $500 for it and it's yours. He's like, fuck yeah. He's like, done. So he gave me $500 for the truck. Well, he posted the seat out, fresh fucking seat. It had a brand new fucking transmission. He posted the tranny out. He posted the fucking truck on sale for $600 as a roller. Sold it for $600.
Damn.
Same fucking truck.
Dang.
Came up.
So this is the other shit where we kind of enjoy working on fucking cars because you have all these fucking stories. You meet all these cool people.
And
it's hard to do that now, though. Huh?
And it's like
hard to do that shit now.
Yeah, but it's like, that's the kind of like the cherry on top of everything else is, it's you meet a whole bunch of like cool ass people.
You do.
Because of that relate to you and they become brothers because they're like, fuck, what's a fucking reflection of me? And it's like you think alike, you know what I mean?
It's a network. It's a networking thing. It's a when you meet those type of people, you meet somebody else, you meet the next person, then you get connected to the next person. But you're right in the sense that when you live this stuff, the culture, the lifestyle becomes the stories. It's always cool to go to Dino's Get Down, right? It's always cool for me to go to Laughlin. But I bet you it's really fun. And what's more, well, at least for me, but I bet you what's really fun is a drive out there with your boys and shit, right? Maybe the fucking breakdown on the side of the road, or maybe the fucking airbag that popped, whatever the fuck it may be on the way out there. The stories and the memories and that shit. That's why I, speaking for myself, keep going. I'm like that. I'm definitely. Like that. I can't get enough of that. Yeah, that right there is what keeps me fucking. I love riding them. I love the feeling that it gives me. I'm sure just like you love driving them and shit. That's a good feeling. You're going down the street going, "Fuck, I built this thing. I painted it. Whatever the fuck it may be that you did to it. Right. All that is a good feeling. But there's still riding down the road, hanging out with your homies, your brothers, whatever it is that you refer to them. That to me is like right at the fucking top of all this shit. That's what makes it, like you said, the cherry on top. Man.
So we already talked about your trucks, your toys, the trucks you forget that you bought. when are you gonna get a bike, dog? Since I've known you,
Yeah, you were talking
you've
about
always wanted like a bobber, and I know what kind of bobber you want because it's cool, dude.
What kind of bobber?
He wants like a Sportster, but he wants it's a cool badass bobber that he wants, dude. But I think you guys should really get a bike, man. And I think you could make something cool out of a motorcycle, dude.
Well, you want to know let me give you from my side. I did paint and body, right? I did paint and body, and so I tinker with cars. I built the mini truck, S10, the C10s. I did all that stuff myself as well. Once I started getting into the motorcycles, I realized, okay, it's way smaller. I can keep it in a much smaller, condensed area.
It's easier to work
car
on
and shit, man. That was because it still gave me the tinkering, the fabrication. It's just in a different mindset, you know. The cars, man. I mean, Harleys aren't cheap either, but they're not truck expensive. They're not car expensive because that's a different level of. Well, fuck, Harleys.
Nah, it's getting up there.
Harleys are getting up there. Actually, I take that back. So yeah, I guess you got to dig deep to go in there too. Are you considered it?
I have, and we talk about this shit all the time,
Just
even with the boys. Because like one of my other buddies too, he rides and he kind of stopped riding, and now he's trying to get back into it. And like every time we go somewhere, even when we go to shows and shit, and we see people riding, like last time we went to Vegas, there's a bunch of fucking guys, you know, just fucking riding their bikes into Vegas, and we're fucking looking at each other like, dude, that could be fucking us right there.
Just do it.
And then we're like, no, next year. That fucking next year never happened.
You just got to do it, man.
But it's like, dude, like. At this point, it's like you said, okay, I kind of did the car thing, but it's like
you could still do both.
No, definitely, but it's like you said. I mean, it takes a lot less space, but if you can do both, then you got options at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even like when we go to Arizona, when we go to Vegas and stuff like that. Like last time we went to Vegas, we're like, you know what, would be badass, and we just had like a few of us, you know, would fucking just ride out here. And then just kind of fucking follow, you know, the fucking rest of the trucks with the trailers and shit like that. And then just have some sort of backup like that right there. Like I got the fucking mental picture in my head. I'm like, that'd be a badass, thing to do. Like that's what we need to do.
That's what we do still with our trip sometimes. Occasionally, it's been a while since I've had a chase vehicle, but sometimes like, you know, back in the day, my dad, when I go to Lawful with my dad, the girls or whatever, the wives or whatever would be in a chase vehicle behind. They would ride maybe a portion of it. They're like, I want to go sit in the van, and they just go drive, and you'd have snacks and you have beers and you have whatever chasing you. You have gas with you, oil, whatever it may be.
Right.
But if you can fuck with it like that, that's the best way to be able to go, man.
Yeah.
And so if you can have your trucks being pulled behind you and then a couple bikes out in front, man, you'd be mobbing, man. It's a different vibe on the. It's not a different. Have you ridden motorcycles at all?
Not like
in the street,
not in the street and shit like that.
Dirt bikes, quads.
The reason why I always like bikes is because the whole, you know, custom culture that's behind them as well.
Yep, of course.
So if you like cars, you know, or you like bikes, as vice versa, you can still relate.
Yep.
So you know, I always kind of wanted to build a bike and kind of work on stuff like that, so that it's a little bit different than what I do, but also like the whole riding behind it, you know, road tripping it like we do with cars nowadays. You know, I think it would be like a badass thing to fucking do. And if we could do both things, well, fuck, you know, that's even better.
You do it in your cars and your trucks and all that stuff, and it's an experience. I get it. You're driving to Dino's Get Down. You're driving to the shows, right?
Right.
And that's the experience. But I'm from the seat of a motorcycle, when you can smell and you can feel the cold and the change in temperature, and you have all that shit hitting you. It's a different hit. It's a different vibe. So try it, man. You know, get up. Borrow Roach's bike. I'll let you. I'll give you.
Mine. It's cool. No, I will. He knows it.
Yeah, he told me to.
Yeah, I tell him all the time.
He told me
what's funny is that when I met him, I've always been into bikes. I always told this fool I'm gonna get a Harley. I'm gonna do it. I was 18 years old before it was cool. Before all that shit, dude. I was like, I'm gonna do it because my brothers did it, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. And this fool would always tell me, "You're gonna fucking kill yourself." Why, Dick? You're gonna kill yourself. I'm still here, Dick.
It's the risk that we take. It's the risk we take.
Here.
We know the risk that we take.
But
man.
I think he would really enjoy it, man. I know how Sal is. I've known him for a long time, dude. So I really do think he'll have fun. I think you will too, man.
You'd be like is that I heard like bobber? Is that what you were like? That's
I just like you know, old school shit. But to be honest with you, I mean last time I went to the NHRA. They had the Harley booth.
Oh yeah.
There, so they had a
That's a
few of
whole
them.
different level. No, you don't want to go to that level. Dude.
No, but you know they have like their different styles and shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's kind of like cars, you know. You kind of look at something and you're like, oh shit, I could make this out of that, and I could make this out of that. So it's not really what you're looking at, at the moment. You kind of start thinking about what I could do to it. And when you start thinking like that, anything's fucking cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's cool in everything.
Yeah.
Man. And that's the problem a little bit with guys like us, because we see it. And even if it's cool the way it is at face value, we can see cooler or we can see other stuff in it.
Yeah.
That's the drug. That's the problem.
Right. And then people that are not into it, they fucking look at you like you're fucking crazy. Like, dude, that's a piece of shit. Like, you pay that much for this, but they don't understand until they fucking see it like fully built.
Yep.
It's kind of like when I built that 2013, people thought I was fucking crazy cutting a fucking brand new truck up.
Yep.
But once they finished it and they saw what I actually, what I was exactly, they're like, fuck, dude, that's a fucking badass truck.
Do you draw? Like, do you sketch?
Well, that's how I started. When I was a kid, I would draw a lot. That's basically what I would do after school. And then as I got older, then I was out on the fucking street with my friends fucking around. I bought a little pocket bike. That's how I got started. I saved up some fucking money. I bought a little pocket bike. I took that shit apart, fucking painted it. So I got pulled over on the street by a cop. He says, you can't drive this shit around on the street. You better fucking go home. If I see you, I'm going to give you a ticket. But that fucking pocket bike is basically kind of like what also, made me like, bikes. You know what I mean? Because they were so easy to take apart. They were so easy to modify. And that I always had that on the back of my head. That's why I would always tell Eddie, like, this is one day I want to fucking build a bobber. This is how I want to fucking do it.
You'll enjoy it, man. You'll have a good time with the build process of it. I know that. And then once you get on it, you'll be like, whoa, this is a different hit. Not only you already know the feeling and the hit and the feeling you get of building something and enjoying it. You already know that feeling, but it's the wind, it's the smell, it's that's just like, whoa, this is different. I ride I did 1,000 miles, man. I did a 1K in a day, 1,000 miles in like 16 hours or something like that. I rode through Death Valley at night. It was pretty gnarly ride, man. But those type of rides right there, I've worked my way up to that, of course. I didn't just fucking get on a bike and just go.
Fuck
but
that.
those I know he keeps saying fuck that. Those rides, it's like, those are like when you're sitting there, it's the moments of just like clarity. You're just fucking chilling. You're in your own zone. It's a long day, but it's just an enjoyable time. Imagine going and riding all the way up to San Francisco or wherever it is that you're going to go for the show, and you're just cruising your fucking thing, enjoying your machine and just what is out there, man. It's a different hit, man. We'll get you on some. We're gonna get you on some at some point.
I'm gonna
be looking and just send them over to the DM.
That shit. But no, for the future though, it's definitely something that we do want to fucking do. Experience something different and build something different.
So are you going to shows and stuff right now? Like, show season's coming up, right?
Yeah.
Show season's like pretty much upon us. Where are people gonna find your
we basically we do almost the same shows every year. So we go to Dino's Get Down. For us, Dino's Get Down is kind of like Sturgis, for every biker.
Yep.
So that's we do Dino's Get Down in Arizona. We also do C10 Intervention in Sacramento.
Okay.
And then we do Las Vegas.
Las Vegas must be fun, dude.
Well, you know what?
I seen your stories,
Vegas,
dude.
No, we do Las Vegas Showdown. So Las Vegas Showdown is more like your newer style, truck scene type of vibe, more partying, which is cool. I mean, it's in Vegas. The Dino's Get Down, it's the biggest fucking C10 show, in the US. I mean, you got people from out of state, from out of the country that come to Dino's Get Down. Every year it gets bigger and bigger.
I saw this year they had it at the stadium this year.
Yeah, so you have like your typical garage build, trucks, and then you have your fucking $500,000 fucking builds. Insane. Ridiculous builds. But everybody's cool, man. You go out there, we always have a good time. And for us, when we go out there, it's kind of like a vacation. It's a little mini vacation. You go with your boys, you have fun. It's a time, you spend time away from everything, from your daily routine. So it kind of gets you refreshed, gets you pumped up. You get new ideas, you come back, and you kind of gives you a motivation to do your thing.
I've always kind of been like, some people will say, I don't want to go to Laughlin because it sucks. It's old schoolers or whatever it means, different runs, different rallies. And I kind of always remind them like, hey, man, it's not about where you're going. It's what you make of what it is when you're there. Man.
Exactly.
You make like your crowd, your friends, your people, your brothers, your homies, your wife, your whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever time and whatever stuff however you guys decide to make your trip, that's what it's gonna be. It does, that's right. The way you gotta approach
exactly. And that also comes down to like, the people, like you mentioned, the people that you hang out with.
Yeah.
I feel like when just in general, you gotta surround yourself with people that are positive, that are always gonna push you forward. And if you got somebody that's negative, you just kind of walk away from that shit. But when you all get together and you got the same mentality, it's like you have a fucking good ass time. You know what I'm saying? And no matter what fucking happens, because there's a lot of shit that has happened on the road,
of course,
you make the fucking best out of it. And next thing you know, you're already where you're supposed to be, and you're fucking drinking beers with your homies, and you're thinking about that shit, just fucking laughing at it. Like, how fucking stupid were we? Like, we knew this shit was gonna fucking happen. But shit like that kind of makes it what it is, and it makes you want to keep going back and doing what you do.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. What is so on that note? What is probably like one of the most memorable, like
crazy shit
on the road? Maybe like what's the one that sticks out to you?
Well, the one that I know, this guy would give me shit for it. We're going to when we're going to Dino's Get Down.
This
right?
Not
this one. Last year.
Okay.
We're going to fucking Dino's Get Down. The whole COVID shit was fucking going on. They had barely started to like open shit up. So we're going to Dino's Get Down, and we fucking left late. Okay, so we left late. That's when I had bought that truck, and I had told my buddy, hey, I'm good. I had told my buddy,
yeah, I'm all right, man.
I had sold him the truck, so I took my truck with the trailer.
The one you forgot about.
No. Well, I had already sold it to him.
Fuck.
Oh.
So I didn't take a personal truck of my own for the show, but I took my I had a 4-door. I took that with my trailer, and I towed my buddy's 454 SS out there. And then my homie Jay,
the one with the big ass wheels.
No, that's a different one.
Oh man.
So
dude.
My homie,
I was so bummed that I couldn't make it over to
I know.
See your shit the other day,
we got it right out there.
We will.
Yeah, we got to do it. So then and then my homie had his Jay, he had his daily his Silverado 4-door, and he took his trailer, but he had an empty trailer because I had already sold him that square body over there, so he was gonna pick it up. So then we're fucking going through the fucking desert, going to Arizona. What was it, like one in the morning in the fucking middle of nowhere? This guy is like, hey, did you see that truck on the side of the road? I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
He was driving.
Yeah, I was driving. He's like, did you see that truck? I was like, no, I didn't fucking see nobody. What the fuck are you talking about? We're in the middle of the fucking desert. I highly doubt that there's gonna be somebody on the fucking side of the road. He's like, no, there was a fucking C10 on the side of the road. I was like, well, fuck, let's turn around. So I mean, I'm pretty sure like anybody would have just fucking kept on driving. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who the fuck it is. Well, we're like, no, let's turn around. So fuck it. We turn around. We turn around, and then
you were like, let's turn.
Yeah, I was like, turn around.
Let's go.
I was like, turn around. So these guys are like, all right, fuck it. That's the thing though. It's like if somebody says something, even if we don't agree, okay, fuck it. We're gonna back you up. We're gonna go with you, whatever. So I said, let's turn around. So we turned around, and the truck was no longer there. So we're like, what the fuck? And then my homie's like, you know what? There's an exit with the bridge. Let's go. Because if it was me and I was fucking stranded, I would fucking exit right there, just so that we're not on the side of the road. That's something I would do. I was like, all right, well, whatever. Let's fucking do that. So we exit. Sure enough, the guys were right there. And we get off, and I was like, like what happened? You guys need help or whatever? They're like, dude, we fucking saw you guys go by with the fucking empty trailer after we broke down, and we just fucking told ourselves, fuck, how bad do we need that fucking trailer right now? So we're like, dude, what the fuck? And I mean, I could relate to that if it was me on the side of the road and I see a fucking empty trailer. I'm like, dude, what these guys? There's no fucking way that trailer's gonna turn around. But that's the reason why I turned around. You know what I mean? Because they would never expect that shit. And if it was me on that situation,
dope,
if it was me on that situation, fuck, dude, I would have been fucking stoked to see that fucking trailer come back.
That's dope, man.
So then we turned around and the guys, they were cool as fuck. We started talking to them and shit. What happened was was it the balancer or the pulley? One of the pulleys broke or some shit like that on the motor.
Oh shit.
In the middle of fucking nowhere. And the guys, like, we called the tow truck. They said they were willing to pick up the truck, but they won't give us a ride because of COVID.
Oh my gosh. Get fucked.
1 in the fucking morning.
Get fucked.
So
picked up to like 6 in the morning.
yeah, 6 in the morning. So they're like, we already got our house. It's the first year we go to Dino's. Now we go every fucking year. And then I was like, well, fuck, we got an empty trailer. We'll give you guys a ride over there.
Dope.
He's like, but then how are we gonna get back? I was like, you know what? I told my homie, I was like, hey, your truck runs. Are you down to like bring it down and we'll fucking bring their truck back? And then the guy's like, he looks at me like, the fuck? He's like, you really gonna do that? I was like, well, if he's willing to drive his shit back, I don't mind. He's like, we'll take you guys there. You guys can fucking, we'll bring your truck back. We'll drop it off at your house in LA. And then at least you guys will make it there. You guys already have plans.
That's dope.
And the guys were like tripping out. And then they're like, all right, cool. He's like, yeah. So then when they get there, something happened with the house that they had gotten or some shit. I was like, well, fuck. One of our homies wasn't able to make it.
Damn,
so we had a fucking empty room.
Dude.
I was like, bro, like you can stay with us. We got a fucking extra room.
You're a good guy.
And the guy's like, what? For reals? He's like, yeah. So then my homie is like, dog, why the fuck did we stop? Like, we don't know these people. I was like, dog, if I was me on that fucking situation and somebody did that shit for me, so the guys were like, fucking, when we got back, they actually had to leave early because some shit happened. So with the like family emergency, so they rented a car. They came back and we dropped off their truck at their house, and the guy was trying to give me $500. I was like, nah, dude, I can't take it. I was like, dude, we gotta give you something. I was like, you know what? We haven't got anything to eat. Just fucking pay for our tacos. I was like, I'll just take $100 just to pay for the tacos for the guys and stuff like that. And that was it.
Dope, man. Hey, cheers to that shit, homeboy.
That's good
because
karma.
that's fucking that's exactly what that is, man.
Yeah,
that's good karma, but that's also just that's upbringing, that's culture shit, that's lifestyle shit. That is the part that we keep kind of referring back to. That it's more, it's the scene, the lifestyle, the culture. It's more than just the flash and showing up. It's that that everything that you just said, that story right there. That is the shit that is rooted in this shit. That is the ultimate fucking like payoff right there.
Oh, for sure.
Building a car, driving the truck and all that shit, but being able to just like pull over and be able, if you can help.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a pretty firm believer in that myself. If you're capable of helping, help. And you had an empty trailer, you had an extra room.
Exactly.
And you don't know the people, but I'm sure you can get the vibe off of them that, hey, these guys are just like me. They're driving a truck out to Dino's Get Down in the middle of the desert at 1:00 in the morning. Why wouldn't I want to help them? Why wouldn't I want to see what I can offer?
Exactly.
Them,
And it's like, I feel like everything happens for a fucking reason. So what are the odds that somebody's going to fucking drive by with a fucking empty trailer?
1 in the morning.
Yeah.
1 in the fucking morning in the middle of nowhere, has an empty room because somebody couldn't make it. Like, what are the odds of that? Like, everything's basically I feel like sometimes it's almost like a fucking test. Everything's laid down in front of you. To see what you do with the opportunities that you're given, to see what kind of person you are in a way.
I agree with that, man. If you have to be a little open-minded to it, you have to see it. It's not just going to be handed to you on a silver platter.
For sure.
But like you could, like you said, this is your example. Is the example is. You can continue to drive. And you can just, I got somewhere to be and I'm just going to keep on mobbing. Or you can do let me just turn around and see what I can do. That's the deciding factor. So if you seek the opportunity or you see the opportunity, it's upon your shoulders to go and say, I'm going to go this way or I'm going to go fucking that way with it, And it'll come back to you. Like, it's not, and you shouldn't do it because of like, oh, let me bank some karma. Let me do this. If you're capable of helping and you're able to do something for somebody, whether it's handing them $1 or fucking going and giving them a tow truck ride all the way from Arizona back home, handle business, do shit,
Exactly. And it's like you said, it's not about the fucking, that's what I also try to tell people. It's not about the flash or any of that shit, because that shit comes and goes. You know what I mean? Like the other day too is I did one of my homies' trucks, another OBS. We're gonna drop it off on my homie's shop to get it painted. So I did all the metal work, the body work, and we're gonna drop it off on my homie's shop to get painted. and we're fucking. And then Jay picks me up.
Over here.
He's like, all right. He's like, he had his trailer because I had sold mine. He's like, hey, I'll go with you. We'll fucking drop it off and shit. So I'm over here thinking, because we have brand new fucking trucks, we have brand new that we bought to fucking tow for that, for that reason. This guy shows up.
Don't tell me you had to get it
on his fucking dually. It's what is it, 96?
98.
A 98 with kind of like a fucked up transmission. The second wheel was fucked up. So he's like, no, we're gonna fucking tow. If we're gonna get an OBS, we're gonna tow it with the fucking OBS. So we loaded up and shit, and it wasn't even registered, huh? That thing is not even registered.
I put plates from my other OBS onto that dually OBS.
Yeah.
I've done that. I took the place from one bike to put on another bike.
We dropped it off. My homie's shop was here in Santa Paula, and we're fucking driving, and I'm laughing, and it's like, what the fuck are you laughing? He's like, bro, we got brand new fucking trucks, 2500s that we bought to fucking tow diesels at home. And we're over here fucking towing on a 96 with the fucked up transmission.
It's the journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. It is.
And then we get to the shop, and my homie's truck, I think's fucking got like 24 by 15s. And we get there, and my homie that owns the shop, he's all tripping out. But the funny shit, he wasn't tripping out on the truck that we're dropping off. He was tripping out on the dually that we were coming with. He's like, where the fuck? Asking all these questions, like, where'd you guys get the bid for this shit? Like, where'd you guys get it? And this and that. He was more excited about the truck that we were fucking towing with than the truck we were dropping off. Yeah,
that's the way it works, man. Yeah. It's stupid that way.
But that's what I'm saying. Is like, it's not about the fucking money, because I mean, we had like $100,000 fucking truck sitting at home. And then you have a truck that you bought for how much? Like $3,000?
And you want to drive that instead.
Yeah,
I know.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
It's a different feeling. It's the culture. It's,
exactly.
You're like, this is fun. This is like, I make memories. The shit, you laughing like, why the fuck are we driving this piece of shit?
Right.
That's why you go and drive that shit.
Exactly. Exactly.
Driving nice cars are cool. Driving a Tesla, cool. But it ain't the same as driving a rickety ass old truck that's squeaking and going down the street,
driving a
smoking you out. Man. Well, they're fast as shit. Don't get me wrong, man. You step on the floor you pedal it. Man,
but the thing is too is like when you're a car guy and you like all this old school shit, is like it means a lot more, than a fucking new truck. All those fucking old school shit, you start thinking and it's like, dude, this thing's got fucking history. Like, I wonder what the fuck this thing has been through.
Yep.
Like that truck right there, it used to be a tow truck up north, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So the guy really cared for that fucking thing. You got some truckers, some guys that drive tow trucks and shit that's their fucking, that's their right. You know what I mean? So
how long did I want that truck for?
Oh yeah, he wanted that shit for a while.
The dually?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's fucking clean.
Let me see it, Jay.
So when he bought that thing, he bought it for like dirt cheap too. He even gave me the guy's fucking phone number to try to lowball him so he could get it for less. So he's like, hey, he wants $3. How much did he want?
That's badass,
man. Like $6,000 at first.
Like $6,000. I was like, you know what? I'll give you $2,000 because that shit you can no longer drive in California, which you can't.
That truck, that dually?
Yeah, because it's a 3500 diesel. And California now has this fucking stupid law where it has to have like the emissions. It doesn't meet emissions no more. So even with the semis, you had to get like a fucking filter and shit like that in order for you to be able to like drive that shit around in California or own it. So
what do? You just swap the plates?
Well, no, he bought it because they were gonna take it to Mexico at the ranch. So he fucking got the flatbed and all that shit, set it all up to take it over there. So he's like, hey, call this guy up, tell him, you'll give him. So I hit the guy up, I'll give you $2,000. So he's like, nah,
my offer looks better.
Yeah. So then this guy's like, I'll give you $3,000. He's like, all right,
so
come pick it up.
Him.
Hey man, I ain't mad at that because I've done that same scam before on motorcycles.
At the end of the day, he got what he wanted.
I've done the same shit, bro.
But it's like, all this shit, you fucking, you look back at this shit and now you're able to fucking laugh at shit like that. You know what I mean?
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I got hustled a couple times.
Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, that's the reason why we fucking do all this shit.
That's the name of the game, man. That's called experience. That's learning the hustle. That's learning the game. You know, that's all that it is. And listen, when I go buy used parts at the swap meet, man, you gotta know how to talk to that guy because That guy's a tight ass. He wants to get every dollar out of that shit. So you got to learn how to tricks like that is what you got to learn how to do.
Yeah.
You got to tell that guy, hey, you don't want to carry that thing back home for the 10th time, homeboy. Give me some of that shit for this price. You got to learn how to talk to them damn
Well,
dudes,
truth was,
that's that's called the dance.
Exactly. Truth is, he wasn't going to sell it to anybody here in California. There's no fucking way somebody was going to buy it because you can't drive it. What the fuck do you want it for? You know what I mean? And it wasn't worth somebody else coming out of state to come pick it up because it's not,
a desirable.
Exactly.
That's where you got to do your homework a little bit, like don't do a little bit of homework. I have learned, and I've made mistakes in buying stuff and buying motorcycles and buying cars and stuff, because I get, like you said, I get excited. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's what I want. And I'm blind to any problems that are on that bitch. But you got to do a little bit of homework. If you're going to be a smart buyer, which you kind of have to be, especially in today's world. That's why I'm like, fuck, that is the reason I don't want to sell my truck, my C10. Part of me says, fuck, cash out on this bitch.
Yeah.
Like, cash out on this big. But then the other half of me goes, well, when the fuck are you ever going to be able to afford it again? Because they're up the fucking ass in price. So it's like, what do you kind of do with it? Because I know if I ever buy one, I got to put kids through school. I'll be 60. Fuck, if I even make it to that, I'll be 60 years old, and God knows how much I'm going to have to pay for one then. They're ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
So what shows you got? What other shows you go to? You go to Dino's. You go to the C10 Intervention.
C10 Intervention
in Vegas.
We go to Las Vegas.
What about locals? Do you guys do like the Sal's Garage or the Royals or anything throws events? Do they do any of that stuff? Like
I think you guys should do something. I know you guys are gonna do.
We should do a little collab stuff.
Yeah,
man.
for sure. Yeah. Before we didn't do it last year because, like I said, a lot of people had like different shit going on. I wasn't gonna be here and stuff like that. But what we done in the past is like for Thanksgiving, we do like a canned food drive. So get a bunch of people together,
right on,
collect canned food. For Christmas, we would do the toy drive.
Okay.
So collect a bunch of toys. So we do stuff like that locally. As far as local shows, I mean, like lately we've been going to the 805 C10 Club. They've been throwing stuff here and there.
Hey, you know Nacho over there?
No.
From he's on 805. I think he's 805 C10. He's got a white 68, I think. Anyways, I've been trying to get him.
Oh yeah, the like our early 60s.
Early 60s.
Yeah. It's a white bag with a blue bed.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Nacho.
Yeah.
I was trying to tell him, I'm like, hey man, bring a couple homies over here and come and kick it. I've been trying to get him.
Yeah,
they got a few guys in there.
Oh, for sure. Club, the guy that we talked to over there the most is Hector. Hex. I think you can find him under Hex C10.
Oh,
real cool dude. Old school. Like he's been doing this shit. Driving? He drives like a 67, 68, 69 C10, like that body style, that front end.
Okay.
So he's got a lot of, a lot of stories, and he goes back, to trucking, him and his dad back in the day. So
that's his.
Yeah, so he's really about it. A lot of those guys are really about it. That's why we're kind of leaning more towards the C10 scene, especially because a lot of us own OBSs. So now OBSs and C10 shows basically go together.
So that era of Silverados and stuff is now like considered nostalgia, I guess. Huh?
Yeah,
it's
old.
So my era of Silverados is now shit. I'm old. Fuck.
Well, the thing is though, like
this was still on the Apaches and shit. Dog.
Yeah, I'm over there digging up. Yeah, I love being an Apache. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, man. I love an Apache.
Yeah, so all those OBSs and C10s, when you go to shows, they're basically all fucking.
They're all mixed. They're all lumped up in one.
So now, like Dino's Get Down, they'll do like early 50s to like 98s, which is the OBS body style.
Okay.
So you have basically every C10 show now is allowing OBSs.
I got
because now the OBS is kind of like the square body. It's that truck that it's now desirable. That is old enough to kind of be cool now.
Yep.
So now they're allowing those trucks, which a lot of us own those kind of trucks. So that's why we kind of, and now we're getting older and got a family. So you don't really want to take your family where the fucking everybody's getting shit faced, and which there's nothing wrong with that. We still go to those, but you gotta pick and choose.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why we're kind of leaning towards those shows, because also the people that build those trucks, they're real car people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They go back, a lot of them are older, or the newer generations that have been around those people. Actually, they know about that culture, and it's a whole different respect now. And with us, and the other cool shit too is, when I've been doing this for a good minute. A lot of people start to kind of like notice you and like know you. So like when we went to Vegas, we weren't gonna go to Vegas, but the guys that put out the event, they actually hit me up. They're like, "Hey, what are you guys gonna come down?" I was like, honestly, I don't think so, because we're gonna go to Dino's, and then after that, I go to Mexico. And with the show, it was like the next month over. I was like, that's too much.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, come on down, bring the guys. He's like, you guys don't have to pay for anything.
Dope, man.
So
That's good.
we got there. We didn't pay shit. We didn't pay anything. They gave us the bed spot. They're like, pick wherever you guys want to be. Set up our tent, brought our trucks, unloaded everything. So that's still the cool thing about it, is like when you're cool with people, that everybody's gonna treat you good. And on the truck scene, everybody knows everybody. So that's still the cool thing about it. Sometimes you go out of state, you're not even from that fucking state, and people are like calling you, like, cruise by, let's have a fucking beer, like, like, let me pay for your food and shit like that. Like that shit right there, it's crazy to me.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the Harley scene, man.
Yeah.
It sounds very smooth. I have friends in other states that are telling me the same thing. Cruise by, hang out, let me know when you're cruising.
Right,
and you just make that network of friends.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Since the body styles have kind of meshed, what's the trend with the new shit? Is it big wheels, big tubs, like laid out bodies,
doing burnout,
body drops? What is the trend with the new crowd?
The thing is, right now, everybody wants to do big wheels, billet wheels,
billet wheels are back,
coilovers and shit like that.
Big deep dish billet wheels are back.
So all that's back now.
Fucking crazy. There used to be spinners, and it fucking was like 24s, and like just now billet is back, huh?
Yep.
Fuck, man, I got some old fucking billet specialty wheels I should have kept.
Those fucking things. And the thing is too, like, even the 90s are coming back. When people
they're gonna start doing, like, I bet you're gonna start seeing slime paint jobs and all kinds of weird fucking crazy
coming back, dude.
That's all the mini truck shit.
A lot of
90s.
those fucking trucks that couldn't sell back then from the 90s that were tricked out like that are bringing big fucking money right now.
If you got one, if you had one,
a lot of people fucking had those because they couldn't sell them. Trends changed. You're like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Am I gonna redo the whole fucking thing? If I do, I'm not gonna be able to get my money back.
Yep.
So a lot of people kept them like that, and now those fucking trucks are so desirable that are bringing more fucking money than newer builds.
Crazy, man.
And they got all the trophies from the shows.
Yeah, so now if you got like a
spread from the magazine,
everybody's trying to track down those fucking trucks that were on Trucking Magazine or Sport Truck Magazine back in the 90s.
Crazy,
and paying crazy fucking money for those things, or like the Boyd Coddington trucks that he did. Those things are bringing crazy fucking money right now. Like all the OBSs and stuff like that.
Insane,
bringing
man.
Crazy money.
I don't know, man. I guess it's just a generation that maybe I got a philosophy. I got a thought. Maybe it's the newer generation recognizing how cool the old shit was and just fucking going like, that's what's fucking cool. The new shit is cool, but fuck, if they're paying top dollar for that old shit, it's just classic.
But the thing is, too, though,
I don't know.
The newer generation, like I said, like all the newer stuff, like all the big billet, big lips, and all that. It started more of a flex. There weren't that many of them out there because the amount of money that it takes them. I mean, fuck a set of wheels and tires. You're probably gonna pay like $6-7 grand, probably even more. Then you gotta narrow the rear end. If you're gonna narrow the rear end, you gotta do coilovers. You gotta link it. So there's a lot of money involved, which not that many people have access to. So that's why there was less of them. So it became a cooler fucking thing because everybody's trying to fucking get there, but not everybody can. So now that, people, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but there's more of them now. So it's kind of starting to go backwards now. It's like, all right, cool. Now we're going to bring the 90s shit back. Everybody has all this fucking big wheel, all this shit. Now we're going to do the OBSs, the square body 17x11s, bring all that shit back. So now all that shit is starting to be cool again. Crazy. That era right there is kind of what got me in. Because as a kid, I would always see the OBS 17x11s. In our town in Mexico and shit. And I was like, when I was a kid, I would fucking look at those things. I'd be like, I want one of those when I grow up and shit. So that's the reason why I bought my OBS, because I could relate to that when I was a kid. And I said, I want one of those fucking things. So that kind of takes you back to when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And, to other people, it might be a C10. It might be the fucking square body, the 60s for you. Maybe your dad had one or whatever. So people kind of start bringing all that shit back because the newer stuff kind of starts getting played out.
Yeah, that's exactly what tends to happen. I'm seeing that in the Harley stuff. There is like the big fad, the big trend is like baggers.
Yeah.
Everyone wants a fucking bagger right now.
Yeah.
And the trend is to do exactly like you're saying in the motorcycle world, where big billet wheels, all this money, throw all this shit at it.
Yeah.
Look at me, look at all the billet parts, look at this, look at that. That is what happens in the Harley ship. And then that's what eventually is, that's what it's turning to. They're looking for the old shit now because everyone already has all that shit.
Yeah.
That's all been done. It's just nothing that you haven't seen with the new shit because everybody's thrown every dollar that you can think about at it. And now it's like, well, we got to do something different. And then the price of the old shit goes up.
Yeah.
And Ray.
Exactly. And the other thing too is like, you know, a lot of the people that built all these fucking, you know, these trucks with big wheels and all that stuff, it's like, okay, you kind of fucking did that. Like, what's next? You know what I'm saying? All these other people are already coming up with that shit. Like, now I'm gonna go back to when I was a fucking kid. I'm gonna build a truck that I wish I had when I was a kid.
Yep.
So that's why all that stuff starts to, you know, come up. And then what happens is all that shit starts getting fucking crazy expensive now.
Yeah.
So where before, when I had my 454, when I bought it off my buddy, I bought it for $4,000. That fucking thing right now, let's just say if I had painted it and left it as is, I could have easily fucking sold that thing for like easily super fresh paint job and everything, like mid-20s, $30,000.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
I sold that shit for $4,700.
Damn.
But I got it for $4,000, so I wasn't really like, you know, like mad about it.
At the time, you were happy. At the time that you sold it, you were happy.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember when we drove that truck around the dealership.
Yeah,
because you couldn't. I don't know if you weren't registered or you're scared that your parents were going to see you on the road. But yeah, dude, you didn't even take it out of the dealership. No. I still remember where you parked it.
I remember that one time my girlfriend, which is now my wife, she wanted to go pick it up with me. And before I picked it up, when I bought it from my homie, I basically told him, yeah, like I want it. I'm gonna go pick it up this day. I think like a week before he calls me, hey, fucking motor ticket shit. But he was a stand-up dude. He's like, what do you want me to do? He's like, I'm gonna keep my word. Do you want me to drop another motor, another 454 in it? Or do you want me to rebuild the one that it has? So I was like, well, fuck, I wanted numbers matching. You know, that's the truck I wanted as a kid.
Yeah.
I was like, just fucking rebuild the motor. I was like, all right, cool. So he rebuilt the motor on it and he called me. He's like, hey, the truck is ready. Come pick it up. So I go pick it up. I go with my now wife, cash him out $4,000. We're driving that thing back. She's following me. She fucking calls me on the phone. She's like, hey, that thing is fucking smoking a lot. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, it's fucking, there's a shitload of smoke. I was like, all right, cool. Let me pull over. So I pull over. The first thing I do is I check the fucking oil in that thing.
No
oil.
Ah.
The fucking rear main seal on those trucks is a 2-piece rear main. If you don't fucking put it on there correctly, it's going to leak. So what was happening is the fucking oil was leaking between the tranny and the motor, falling into the fucking exhaust manifold, and it was basically smoking.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck. So then I pull over. I call my homie. He's like, he did me a fucking solid. He's like, all right, we'll stay right there. I'm gonna send a tow truck. This guy sent a fucking tow truck to pick it up.
That's good people.
Good.
I take off with my wife, and at that point, I was fucking heartbroken. I was like, "This is the fucking truck I always wanted." It fucking did me dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then we pick it. So then he fucking picks it up. We go home, and then he's like, "Hey, the truck is ready again." So he's like, I'll meet you halfway. He fucking met me halfway, gave it to me. I drive it home. And I tell my wife, we picked it up at night. Hey, is this just still smoking? He's like, no, you're good. But I noticed that it was still leaking oil. Like it was never at 100. So that's why when I sold it because I had it at the fucking dealership. GM had just came out with the fucking Camaros, newer body styles. And there was a shitload of recalls. So we had a bunch of fucking semis with fucking newer cars coming in for recalls. So at the dealership, they're like, hey, if anybody has fucking cars back there on the lot, take them home because there's going to be a shitload of cars coming in. So I was like, well, fuck, I don't have nowhere to put this shit, you know? So I was like, hey, posted this shit up. And my homie's like, I'll buy it off of you. He's like, how much you want for it? I was like, well, you know what? Just give me $4,700 if it's for you. He still has it. So he fucking cashed me out.
He still has it right to this day?
I believe so. His brother has it.
Dope.
Dude, that fucking thing was all fucking over the side shows in LA. After that, he wanted to sell it back to me. I was like, Dog, I see how you fucking drive that truck. I don't want it back. I don't fucking want it back.
It's a different crowd, right?
It's so that was that. But I mean, like I said, maybe one day I'll own another one. I actually tried to buy one when I saw mine, just not because I wanted it, simply because that's the truck that I wanted as a kid. Yeah. And maybe one day I will buy another one, even if it's fucking 25, 30 grand or whatever. But simply because of that, because the truck really wasn't all that. Now they're so hyped up that the fucking price is ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's really not all that. I mean, you got a fucking a fucking boat anchor as a motor.
Yeah,
it only makes like 200 and something horsepower, but it does make like 400 foot-pounds of torque.
There was only so many of them made.
Exactly, but it's definitely not worth that money. To me, it's not.
It's like things change, right? The scenes change, and at one point, and well, still to this day, but at some point, a SS Camaro became a fucking thing to have, and now it's an SS 454 is the fucking thing to have. They're just kind of moving on up.
Exactly,
as they come, man.
Exactly, and it's like if you see one for a decent price, you fucking jump on it. I mean, like him here, my homie, he want to go get some fucking food. He's sitting at the fucking restaurant with his mom and dad, you know, getting a burrito, waiting for his food. He says this like old timer pull up on his fucking OBS. It was burgundy. But he started looking at that shit. It had 454 mirrors. It had fucking 454 wheels. He looked at the fucking seat. Oh, fuck, that's a 454. He goes up to the guy, gets up, doesn't even fucking say anything, goes up to the guy. Hey, is this a 454? The guy was actually from here, no? From Santa Paula? He was from Santa Paula. Or Fillmore? From Fillmore. He goes up to the guy. Hey, is that a 454? Hispanic guy. He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, do you want to sell it? He's like, well, I try to sell it, but nobody really pays, you know, what has paid for it or whatever. He's like, well, how much do you want for it? He thought he was going to give him a fucking crazy dollar amount. The guy's like, I'll take $4,000. He's like, all right, I'll go to your house and pick it up. The guy, he goes to his house. The guy he opens up the door. And didn't he tell you, like, fuck, I didn't think you were going to come?
Fuck.
At that point, he was probably regretting it, but he fucking stole it for $4,000. I mean, they're still out there. You got to know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And just fucking be ready, you know, if that's really. And he bought it not because he needed it, because he doesn't, but he bought it because he knew what it was. And
good price. Yeah. Hey, yeah. It's not taking advantage, but if someone, you know, when a sale is good, it was when the person that's selling it gets what they want. And then the person that's buying it is happy with the price that they paid.
The thing is, too, is like
that guy wanted $4,000. He got what he wanted.
But in all reality, though, he did, you know, get what the truck was worth. The truck is really worth $4,000. You know what I mean?
But not in today's market.
No, because the thing is, the truck is burgundy. You basically have to restore this thing. You're gonna dump a shitload of money into that fucking thing.
Well, remember what my dad got offered when he drove it?
Well, that's the thing.
Cash.
They offered him $12,000.
Damn.
As is.
Right now. And I was like, no, dude, you're nuts.
Yeah, so he could have easily made fucking $8,000 right off the bat without even fucking doing anything to the truck.
I'm out. My ride's here.
Oh, your ride's
here? Wife's here?
Yeah, well, let's wrap it up, actually, man. Yeah,
okay.
we'll fucking wrap this shit up. So Royals Car Club then, or Royals Truck Club, or is it
just Royals?
Just Royals out of Oxnard then.
Oxnard.
Is there an Instagram page for it that people can kind of follow?
Yeah, I believe it's Royals with a Z _ WC.
Okay.
Do you guys take Tacomas?
No.
So they can follow the Instagram page, maybe see where shows or fucking see what type of trucks and stuff you guys have going on and stuff. Now, let me ask real quick. Does Sal's Garage only work on his stuff, or do you work on other people's stuff?
No, it's actually other people's stuff. The thing is,
anybody can come in.
The way that it's funny, and I'll make it real quick. The way that started is obviously I work on my own shit. I work with my homie stuff. And we would go to shows and they'll be like, okay, well, who did that? Oh, why did it? Oh, well, can you fucking do this shit? Well, can you do that? There was so many fucking people asking that I was like, all right, cool. Well, I'm going to fucking make a page, try to help people out. If they have any questions, they want me to do shit. Okay, we'll do shit. So now with me and my homie, whenever people want something done, we'll do it. And we'll kind of use that money to fund our projects or fucking trips or whatever, so that we don't have to touch our check. You know what I'm saying? So that's the cool shit about it. It's almost like a fucking game to us.
That's the way to go, man.
Yeah, so it's cool because again, we get to help other people out and make extra money.
There you go.
But You know, it works all the way around.
So if you guys are looking for something, maybe pick his brain, or you need some work, then they can hit you up.
Yeah, for sure.
It fun shit for you. It's not a shop, but it's
no. If they want to
fucking
fucking cruise by and drink a beer and talk fucking car shit, you know, I always tell people.
Well, then fucking next time, make sure you're home so that I can.
For sure.
We had
you know, fucking roll up.
Yeah.
We'll fucking roll up and you know we'll chop it up, drink a couple beers.
We'll roll up on the Harleys and shit.
Yeah.
That day,
and who fucking knows? Maybe next time you guys fucking come by, there's gonna be a fucking Harley in the garage.
Hey, I love
Two. You know.
So well, right on, man.
We should have just gone to your house that day, man.
I know.
Things went south.
Hey, you know what? You know what? It's a good time with you. Maybe what we can do in the future, Sal, is I can bring this stuff. It doesn't have to stay right here in this room.
No,
maybe I come to you and I come into your environment. We have your toys around and we can chop it up.
Yeah, you guys can come into my garage. I can bring a couple of the guys and stuff like that. There you go. And then just fucking chop it up and barbecue, do something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool as fuck.
I got a bunch of dudes that would probably geek out and just have a good time looking at the trucks and just hanging out, man. So
sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely do something like that, man. I appreciate you swinging by, man. It was always a good time. Roach, you did good by bringing a solid dude over here, man. Fucking guys. Yeah, you're in it, man. And I vibe with you because you've been in it for a minute. You've been in the scene for a thing, and you and I have seen the changes in both your truck scene. I've seen the changes over in the Harley scene, and they're very similar. They're very tied to each other. The ultimate message that I think I would want to leave with people, and you probably agree, is just get out there and enjoy the shit.
Exactly.
Don't get clicky, don't get trendy, don't get caught up in all that bullshit.
Exactly.
Because the lifestyle, the culture, the people that you're going to meet, the stories that you're going to do, that's way deeper, and that's way more than all this fucking look at me hoopla Instagram bullshit.
For sure.
You know? Well, right on, Sal. Appreciate you rolling by, homeboy. Thanks, dog.
Thank
Joe,
you, man.
Thanks for being a silent partner. Roach, thanks for bringing a cool guy over, man. Hey, you're welcome here anytime, man. Anything that I can ever share for your guys' club, for yourself.
For sure.
I'm a fan. Appreciate you rolling by, man.
Appreciate you.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Later. Well, thanks, homeboys. Appreciate that shit. Let me
dude. I think when